Lieutenant Marcus Hale had never imagined that his life would take him to the distant planet of Valoria, a place of pale lavender skies and forests that shimmered like silver under the light of twin moons. Valoria was beautiful, yet fragile. The Illyrians, the native species of the planet, were known for their grace and intelligence, their delicate crystalline cities, and their quiet, thoughtful ways. Humans had only recently made contact with them, and interactions were careful and distant. Marcus, a soldier trained for exploration and rescue missions, had been assigned to a humanitarian expedition to Valoria after the reactor accident that had shaken the planet's energy grids. The mission had seemed simple at first. The Illyrians had requested assistance after an energy reactor in their central city began to malfunction, causing unpredictable tremors and electrical disturbances across the capital. Marcus had expected to survey the damage, help coordinate evacuation procedures, and report back. But when he arrived, he realized that what awaited him was far more dangerous and urgent than any simulation could have prepared him for. The city itself was a labyrinth of crystalline towers, each structure reflecting the soft lavender light of the sky in brilliant prismatic patterns. The streets were quiet, almost eerily so, punctuated only by the occasional shimmer of an Illyrian moving gracefully between the buildings. But the silence was deceptive. Beneath the calm exterior, the city was in turmoil. The energy reactor had started to destabilize faster than anyone had predicted. Tiny tremors shook the towers, and pieces of the crystalline walkways began to fracture and fall. Marcus moved carefully, his armored suit designed to protect him from hazards, but never to navigate such delicate architecture. As he made his way toward the city's central district, he heard the faint, high-pitched tones of a distress signal. It was weak, almost imperceptible, yet somehow familiar. His instincts told him that this was no ordinary emergency. It belonged to someone young. The sensors in his helmet confirmed it, a small life form trapped beneath debris. He followed the signal, careful not to step on fractured glass-like panels that could collapse beneath him. The corridors narrowed, twisting into angles and turns that made the city feel like a maze. And then he found her. A young Illyrian girl no older than 8 cycles was trapped under a broken piece of crystalline framework. Her luminous eyes widened in fear at the sight of the human in front of her, but she did not cry. Marcus quickly assessed the situation. The weight of the debris was beyond what she could lift, but with the strength of his suit and careful maneuvering, he was able to slide the rubble aside just enough to free her small frame. "Hey there, it's okay," Marcus said softly, lowering his visor so his calm expression could be seen. "I'm here to help you." Her voice was a soft chime, almost musical. "I'm Illyra," she said, her words trembling. I can't find my mother." Marcus nodded, understanding instantly. "We'll find her. But first, we need to get you somewhere safe." He lifted her gently, careful not to jostle her. The tremors were increasing in frequency and strength, and the crystalline city, beautiful as it was becoming unstable. As he moved through the corridors, he kept his eyes on the faint glow of the city around them. He could see other Illyrians in the distance, some helping each other, others frozen in shock. The city had been proud and serene, and now it trembled with uncertainty. As they moved, Marcus talked softly to Illyra, trying to distract her from the fear she could feel radiating from the city. "Do you like stories?" he asked. She nodded shyly. "Good. I know one about brave explorers who help people on faraway worlds. They always find a way to save the day, no matter how tricky things get." Illyra's tiny hand gripped his suit sleeve. Do they always succeed?" "Sometimes it's hard," Marcus admitted honestly. "But if you keep trying and don't give up, they do. And right now we're trying." The child seemed to relax a little, and Marcus felt a flicker of hope. He knew that hope was the strongest thing he could give her right now. The path to safety was not easy. Sections of the city had already begun to collapse, and streams of energy from the damaged reactor created brilliant, dangerous arcs across the streets. But Marcus was careful. He used the environmental controls of his suit to analyze the safest path, calculating the timing of each tremor, each crack, and each unstable surface. Step by step, he guided Illyra, speaking softly, pointing out small things to distract her. A floating shard that reflected the sky, the pattern of light through the fractured panels, the distant sound of other Illyrians calling out. Finally, they reached an evacuation point, a reinforced chamber designed to protect inhabitants during energy surges. Marcus placed Illyra down gently. She looked up at him, her glowing eyes full of trust, and for a moment he felt something shift inside him. This was what he had trained for. Not battles, not politics, not exploration alone. This was saving a life when no one else could. Outside the chamber, the Illyrians began to gather. Word had spread quickly of the human who carried their princess through the city. There were whispers, curious glances, and finally the appearance of Queen Seraphine herself. She was unlike any being Marcus had ever seen. Tall and radiant, her presence filled the room without a word. Her eyes met his, and there was no fear, no anger, only recognition and something that resembled awe. "You have done what many thought impossible," the Queen said, her voice soft but resonant. "You carried hope when hope seemed lost. For that, we owe you more than gratitude." Marcus remained humble, shaking his head. "I just did what anyone should. She's safe now, isn't she?" The Queen smiled faintly. "Yes, and because of you, she will remember the kindness of your species. That memory will guide her as she grows, and through her, our people will learn to trust humans." Illyra ran to her mother, wrapping her tiny arms around the Queen. Marcus watched quietly, feeling the warmth of accomplishment but also a sense of connection he had never experienced. Across the lavender sky, he realized that humanity's place in the universe was not through domination or power, but through understanding, courage, and care. As he returned to his ship later, Marcus looked out at the city from a distance. The towers, though damaged, still glimmered in the soft light, reflecting a promise that life could endure, that beauty could survive, and that even a single act of bravery could ripple across the galaxy. And somewhere inside, he knew that this was only the beginning of a story far larger than himself. A story of friendship, trust, and the quiet, unstoppable strength of humanity. After the rescue, Marcus Hale felt a mixture of relief and anticipation. He had carried the Illyrian princess Illyra to safety and seen the gratitude in her mother's eyes. But he knew that the story was far from over. Queen Seraphine had promised a reward, but it was clear that this reward would not be something ordinary. The Illyrians were not a materialistic people. Their wealth was in knowledge, culture, and understanding. The next morning, Marcus received a formal invitation to the royal palace. He stepped into the transport chamber and felt the gentle hum as the vehicle lifted from the landing pad. Outside, Valoria's twin moons cast a pale glow over the crystalline city, and Marcus could see hints of the recent tremors, some towers slightly cracked, others shimmering with repairs. The Illyrians were already at work, restoring their home with patience and care. When he entered the palace, he was greeted by attendants who moved gracefully across the polished floors, their soft steps making no sound. At the center of the room stood Queen Seraphine, her presence commanding yet warm. She gestured for Marcus to come closer, and the princess ran to meet him. Illyra's small hands grabbed his suit gently, as though she wanted to make sure he had not disappeared like a fleeting dream. "You have given us more than safety," Queen Seraphine said. "You have given hope, and hope is the most precious gift any being can receive. For that, we wish to offer you a reward that reflects the trust we now place in you and your people." Marcus felt a mixture of curiosity and humility. He had expected perhaps some form of ceremonial honor or a token of gratitude, but what the Queen was about to offer was beyond anything he could have imagined. She led him to a large chamber filled with light. Crystalline panels covered the walls, reflecting a rainbow of colors. In the center of the room floated a device unlike anything Marcus had seen. It was elegant, simple, and yet clearly powerful. "This is the Illyrian Codex of Knowledge," the Queen explained. "It contains centuries of discoveries, our understanding of the natural world, and technologies that can help heal and sustain life. We share it with you so that your people may learn, grow, and protect other worlds as you have protected ours." Marcus could hardly believe it. He had always thought of humans as explorers and soldiers, not keepers of wisdom. And yet here was a gift that could change humanity's understanding of energy, ecology, and life itself. He nodded, speechless, understanding the immense responsibility this gift carried. Over the next days, Marcus stayed in the palace to learn about the Codex. The Illyrians taught him how their systems worked, how they had learned to balance energy without harming the delicate ecosystems of their world, and how their cities reflected both beauty and sustainability. Marcus asked questions constantly, fascinated by the ingenuity of the Illyrians. Every answer sparked new ideas in his mind. ideas that could help not only humanity, but countless other worlds that struggled with energy and resources. Elira became his constant companion. Despite the trauma of the disaster, she was cheerful and curious, eager to learn from Marcus as much as he learned from her people. She showed him how the Illyrians played with light, bending it to create shapes and colors in ways that defied his imagination. They would laugh together, discovering patterns and games that combined human creativity with Illyrian elegance. One evening, as they watched the twin moons rise over the restored city, Elira turned to Marcus. "Do you think humans can be like Illyrians?" she asked. "Kind and careful and strong without hurting?" Marcus smiled, thinking carefully before he answered. "I think humans can be anything they choose to be. We have our faults, but we also have courage, compassion, and a desire to help. You've already shown me that hope is worth protecting, and humans can do the same." Elira nodded thoughtfully, her glowing eyes reflecting the moonlight. "Then I will remember you," she said, "and when I grow up I will tell everyone that humans can be good." As the days passed, Marcus also saw how his actions had inspired the Illyrians. The memory of a human carrying their princess through danger spread through the city like a gentle wind. The Illyrians began to approach humans with more curiosity and openness. Delegates arrived asking questions, offering insights, and learning from Marcus's experiences. For the first time, humans were not seen as outsiders or invaders, but as friends capable of bravery, empathy, and wisdom. Marcus understood that this was the true reward, not just the codex, not just the honor, but the bridge of trust between two very different species. It was fragile at first, a small thread of connection, but he could see it strengthening every day. The Illyrians were teaching humans to value patience and observation, while humans could bring creativity, adaptability, and courage to new challenges. The Queen invited Marcus to participate in a ceremonial garden project, where humans and Illyrians worked together to cultivate plants that could purify the air and water. Marcus marveled at the plants' delicate bioluminescent patterns, glowing softly as if responding to human touch. He worked alongside Illyrians, laughing when he struggled to follow their careful methods, learning that mistakes could be gentle teachers rather than disasters. Elira helped guide him, her small hands pointing to the right techniques, her laughter bright and clear. One day, as Marcus adjusted a fragile plant's placement, the Queen approached. She spoke quietly, her voice carrying both pride and warmth. "Your people are learning, and you have taught my daughter an important lesson as well, that courage and kindness are one and the same. For this you have our deepest gratitude." Marcus felt a swell of emotion. He realized that he had not just saved a life, he had helped shape a future. The Illyrians and humans would now work together, sharing knowledge and understanding in ways that neither species could have imagined before. And it all began with one simple act: carrying a child to safety. When it was time for Marcus to return to his ship and prepare for his journey back to human space, Elira ran to him one last time. "I will never forget you," she said softly. "Promise you will not forget me." "I promise," Marcus replied, smiling. He lifted her gently, holding her close for a brief moment before setting her down safely. "We will meet again, Elira. And until then, remember that courage and kindness always go together." As he boarded his ship, he looked out over the lavender city one last time. Valoria had been scarred, yes, but it had also grown stronger, and Marcus realized that the true reward of his actions was not something he could carry in his hands, but something far greater, a connection that would last for generations, a friendship between species, and the knowledge that one person's compassion could change the course of history. The engines roared softly as the ship lifted into the sky. Marcus watched the twin moons fade into the distance and thought of Elira and her mother, of the Illyrians and of the promise he had made. He knew that humanity had much to learn, but he also knew that humans could rise to the challenge. Through courage, empathy, and hope, humans could leave a mark on the stars, might not with violence, but with the quiet, unstoppable strength of the heart. Even as he left Valoria behind, Marcus carried the lessons he had learned with him. He thought of the soft laughter of a child, the gentle guidance of a queen, and the shimmering towers of a city rebuilt with care. He thought of the codex of knowledge now safely aboard his ship, a treasure not of gold but of wisdom, and he knew without doubt that the story was only beginning. Humanity had been given a gift, yes, but it was also given a responsibility: to protect, to learn, to share, and to grow. And somewhere across the galaxy, a little girl named Elira would watch and remember the human who had shown her what hope truly meant. Marcus felt a quiet sense of peace as the stars stretched out before him. The universe was vast, full of wonders and challenges, and he knew that he was part of something larger than himself. He had acted with courage, he had shown kindness, and in return he had witnessed the power of trust and friendship. The journey ahead would be long, and the universe full of unknowns, but Marcus Hale smiled. He was a human, and he had already proven that humanity's greatest strength was not in its weapons, nor its technology, but in its heart. And with that thought, he set his ship on course carrying hope, courage, and the promise of a brighter future to the stars.